Hi everyone, it's Toby here. It's Saturday, the 28th of February. Today we are starting a bit later, but also a bit different. So I already stitched today. I managed to do 496 stitches and I am now at 77.3%. So super exciting. So as you can see, I finished this triangle. I managed to go down with this band. I did a bit on the border here, and I also started on the letters. And basically my plan for today is to kind of finish on this line here to everything, because it would mean that the top row of pages is completed. So basically the pattern has 9 pages. So sorry, if I do that, my top row will be completed, and basically I will have now I'm just like doing basic math. I'm going to have 5 pages fully finished. Of course, like there is a page like here to around here, so there's just like a few tiny motifs just missing. So I think that if everything goes well, I might be at 80% still today. So that would be fantastic. So I woke up today definitely earlier than planned. It's Saturday. I didn't have anything planned and so on, so I thought I'm just going to sleep for a bit longer. Nope, I woke up before 8. I fed the monsters, made myself some coffee, and then I was just like sitting here and chilling with Peppa, doing nothing, and then we just started stitching. So she was sleeping very intensely on me, but I managed to do almost 500 stitches, so not going to complain. Especially that, of course, she fell asleep on me, so I couldn't move. So if you cannot move and you have stitching, so why not to use that? My bladder wasn't 100% happy about that. But she moved before it burst, so everything was safe and fine. So I hope that your weekend is going well, that you have a nice Saturday. After I was done with stitching, I managed to do all the cleaning that I had planned. I did 1 load of laundry, 1 load of dishwasher. So I feel kind of accomplished, and I'm starting later now because I was also making dinner that I had planned in my head, and it took a bit longer than I thought, but it was super worth the time, because it wasn't like very much high effort, just cutting a lot of vegetables, and just waiting for that to be done in parts, because I made chicken meatballs, and then I used a bunch of vegetables as a base for the sauce. So I roasted them a bit, then blended them with some water, added tomato passata and some more vegetables, so they could stay in the proper-ish form. Then just threw the meatballs in there so they could cook together for a moment. It was delicious. It was really, really delicious, and it felt very much like a spring food because of all the vegetables. And now I just decided to stitch with you for a moment, and when I'm done, we want to watch a movie. I have no idea what movie yet because my boyfriend is going to be choosing that tonight. We actually have an idea, it's just like I need to get into execution. So we want to, because it's always the most difficult thing when you want to watch something, is to choose what to watch. This like takes forever. So I had this idea, and it's just like it just needs a bit of preparation. That we're going to make a list of movies that we want to watch, or we want to watch with the other person, even if that's something that we have already watched individually. Then we are just going to like create tiny pieces of paper, fold it, throw it into a box or a jar or something, and then we're just going to once a week, once every 2 weeks, when we cannot decide what to watch but we really want to watch something, then we're just going to pull out one of the movies and just watch it without any questions. So let's see if and how's that going to work when I finally manage to organize us both so we can prepare the list. I will definitely let you know how everything is going in this department. But I thought that it's a kind of nice idea to be able to kind of lower the decision making, because sometimes you just want to watch something and it doesn't matter too much what and so on, but when you hear what the options are, suddenly it turns out that none of them is something that you would like to do. Same, for example, with food or anything else. So I thought that it would be nice to have that decision making process kind of simplified, because even if that's something that you don't want to watch, you're watching that. It's on your list, so at some point you wanted to watch it. If that's really when two people are going to say, no, it's not for tonight, we decided that we would give ourselves like a moment of grace where we would pick another movie and then decide between the two which we want to watch, and then the other gets back to the jar. Because sometimes we're laughing that, especially when we are searching for something on Netflix, and that the movie that we finally decide on is like 2 hours, but we already spent an hour and a half watching trailers. And sometimes it's just we are watching trailers, we're trying to find something, and then after watching all the trailers we decide that there is nothing that we want to watch, so we're just going to find some documentary to watch. So yeah, if you have any documentaries, it can be any kind of documentary, let me know, because we watch a lot of that. We watch quite a few true crime, any kind of, I don't know how to call it, not necessarily biographical, but like biopics regarding political figures, especially in connection with some events that took place during their time on the specific position and so on. So if you have anything that you really liked, let me know. I would really appreciate that. Recently, a really good one that we watched was it was Australian short documentary series. It was called, I think, Death Cup, and it was super interesting. It was really interesting because from the beginning, it's just like, even if you don't know the case, you kind of know what is happening, and you can watch people behaving in a specific way and so on. So this is something that always fascinated me, how people behave in some specific situations. That's why one of my biggest areas of interest is the Second World War, and especially the history of the bad guys. So how they got there. Was it something that was just like a kind of opportunity for them, or was that really something that they believed in, and so on? So everyone is laughing that basically if they went to take part in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they got a question either regarding serial killers or it's called The Circle of Evil. There is like an awesome documentary series on Netflix. It's about like the circle of people around Adolf Hitler, So if they got a question about either serial killers of this topic, they would definitely call me, because my head is full of information, is full of trivia. So yeah, just like sometimes I need to think twice about my own phone number when I'm giving that to somebody, or double check in my own head how to spell my name. So my first name and my second name are not easy to spell in general in any language. Sometimes it's just like I need to get there. But if somebody asked me to give them a list of, like, for example, I don't know, 5 most well-known cannibals, I could tell them. And if anyone tells you that Ed Gein belongs to this category, nope, not right. Oh, and cults. I love cults. I'm afraid that probably if there is anything active around me, I would be dragged inside. No, I wouldn't be dragged. I would be just like joining happily on my own. Because unfortunately they very often start as something that I could very, very easily fall for. Of course, if they are not religion based, or because if I am an atheist. I was raised Christian. I was raised Catholic. And I cannot get this one right. Give me a second. I cannot just anchor my thread properly. And I had like a few different phases going through my life. And finally it hit me that it's just like it's basically like believing in Gandalf or whatever. So at the moment I cannot say that I'm a skeptic. There is definitely something, but I do not think that it is something that what we are told. So I'm just going through my life trying to believe in myself. Trying to. Was I completely off screen? Sorry. Today I'm not sure what I see and what I'm doing. Let me just maybe change the... Oh, now it's going to be okay. Now it should be perfect. So yeah, that's me. But yeah, getting back to that, I really love documentaries, and it's just like sometimes it's so scary that sorry, I just like hit the phone, that a person who was not able to achieve anything in life is suddenly leading the nation. And I'm not necessarily talking about historical figures. Yeah. But, so if you know any good documentaries, let me know. We're watching quite a few of these as well. Just one thing, movies and documentaries where there is something happening to animals, nope. No, I'm going to nope so hard out of that. And also anything connected to either false confessions or false imprisonment. It just like breaks my heart to the point that I cannot imagine. I have never watched Making a Murderer. I simply cannot. I know the story and I cannot watch anything connected to West Memphis 3 and anything like similar to that. So these are my limits. Sometimes people ask me why I like history or documentaries about like very, very bad things that happened. And the thing is that it happened and it was resolved and it brought very often something good afterwards. So it kind of gives me hope that anything that is happening now in the world that we live in can also have either a sense of closure or even a happy ending. So, yeah, that's why I like this kind of stuff. Same with horror movies. It's just like, at the end, the good character survives. So I very often find horror movies rather relaxing. I recently was kind of dusting off my love for found footage. It's just like, I don't know why, but it makes me so happy. Especially the bad found footage ones. Oh god, this is just sorry, something completely different when you have bad actors. Okay, maybe not bad actors, but not the top tier ones, pretending that they are playing bad actors. It's just like, oh, my little heart is so happy then. So again, if you have any recommendations for this kind of stuff, I will happily take it. Probably I watch most, but sometimes they're also the ones that we keep forgetting about. So if there is something that would refresh my memory, I'd be very, very happy. So recently I went through the grave encounters 1 and 2. Oh, and if there are like horror movies that take place, and this is just like paranormal something, they take place in old hospitals, old asylums. Whew. Give me all of that. Give me all of that. Love it. Absolutely love it. Even if it's crappy. It's just like there is something about old hospitals that you don't even need a horror movie. These are these places where you can just feel all the pain, all the things that people were going through. But it also means that there are lots of good histories, like in hospitals. You have people getting better, new babies being born. But still, it's heavy. Yeah, I'm strange. I know that I am strange. I think that if you took me to a haunted location and just gave me a hand torch and leave me there for some time. Sorry, I just need to connect my charger to my phone because I just got the information that 20% of my battery is remaining. Are we good now? I think we're good. So yeah, I think that I would be pretty happy if I could run around some places. This is what happens when I stay in the office flat, because it is in our office building, and the office building is a historical building that previously belonged to like a very wealthy, very well-known Munich family. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, but people are always just like, yeah, so you're just staying there alone in this building for like the whole night and so on. Aren't you scared? And it's just like, I am not afraid of ghosts. The only thing that I am afraid of are actually living people. And at that time, in the middle of the night, the only person that I could meet in one of the corridors would be one of our lawyers, because they have a tendency to work in a very strange hours, so you never know. But it already happened that I think that I ordered food and I was just like waiting at the ground floor, waiting for the call from the delivery guy so I could go to the gate. And it was around 9, I think. And one of the lawyers were coming downstairs, and they jumped. They jumped seeing me because they totally did not expect anyone to be there. So as you can see, I'm sorry, just like hitting everything all the time. I can be scary as well. So yeah. This is where I should be. Yes, this is where I should be. And now we're going to move here. So today I had a plan to play a bit with green dye this time, but it didn't happen because I would be doing that in the bathroom, and I cleaned the bathroom today, so I was just like, nope, I can mess with that tomorrow, but not today. So in our area we have such hard water that it's really, really ridiculous. I have a glass kettle, so if I don't use the filter for my water and use the filtered water in my kettle, it needs decalking basically after the second time I cook water in that, so you can imagine. So basically bathroom is always a deep cleaning experience because you really want to scrub, you really want to remove the lime scale, you really want to do something, and it's just like, it's kind of Sisyphean work because you know that you're going to do that, and in 2 days we'll be back to square one. So that's why, after doing a bit of scrubbing and decalking today, I decided that I'm not going to add any kind of dye on top of everything. We can do that tomorrow because in like 2 days we would need to do the scrubbing again. Yeah, and this is the thing, it's just like, I would really love to be able to have like a professional help with cleaning, because that would be fantastic, to have somebody who knows what to use where. So basically, like for example, to removing the lime scale and so on, we like using more natural stuff. Basically, oh god, how you call that? The citric acid, the citric acid, the powder. So there is nothing better than that. And it's good for the environment and so on. However, it takes time. So you need to be patient with that. And sometimes I know that there are like stains, especially just like with the lime scale. We know that the citric acid is working, this is okay, but sometimes there are just like strange stains where like the water is running or dripping, and like the first run with the citric acid is not fully getting into that. So sometimes if you want like a quicker result, you would like to just use something that could help it. We have cats, so I'm not the biggest fan of bleach or anything like that, and I am absolutely not going to experiment with anything, because knowing my luck, I would create chlorophyll or mustard gas, because I am as talented as that. I managed to create a very, very powerful tear gas once while cooking, because who would think about not dropping chili flakes onto hot oil? That was intense. So it just, at the moment, I am taking my time, but it would be good to sometimes get professional help without thinking what you're going to mess with. But good, we have the alphabet finished. I just got to 12 here. I need to do anything between 5 and 12 now. But I think that my goal of getting to 80% today might be really, really doable. But you will need to wait until tomorrow if the goals were, to see if the goals were achieved, because it's been already 37 minutes of me yapping like crazy. So I can now go back to the living room and check if my fantastic, amazing, lovely boyfriend and I just realized that I made a boo-boo, because this one is a 1 that is the first one of 11. So I need to pick out the whole 2. So yeah, this time we have a first major miscalculation. I got too excited that things are going so well. So now I'm picking everything and then stitching 2 more 1s before I can get to my beautiful 2. But good, thank you so much for your time today, guys. I hope that you're really having a good weekend, and we see each other tomorrow. Bye bye.